Senator Blumenthal.
Thanks very much. Thanks for being here. The reason I came to this hearing was to ask the two questions that Senator Sullivan has just asked you. So it just shows Marines think alike. But what I would like to do is work with Senator Sullivan to submit more detailed questions on this access to educational institutions, because I have just discovered when I went to recruiters around Connecticut that in fact the access is very diverse. And when you talk about meaningful access, a couple of recruiters have told me, well, you know, they have career days at high schools. We're not permitted to come to the career days. They say to us, okay, you can come on Tuesday morning between 8:30 and 9:30. Just as students are rushing, have you ever been in a high school at these moments when the halls are filled with students rushing to their classes? And you can have this corner over here. So we're not denying access. We're going to give you this opportunity to be here, and but not when it's career day and there are booths and everybody's going from one booth to another. So I would like to explore in greater detail with Senator Sullivan. Maybe we'll write you something or do something a little bit more formal. But I think this is really an important topic because it shows, going to you use this nice word, a euphemism, awareness. I just think there are a lot of parents who do not understand how good this would be for their kids as a career. You know, the skills they're going to learn, the discipline, all the stuff that you know very well. It's your selling point to go to something, to get away from something, or to do a better version of yourself, much better version of themselves coming out of the military. And I'd also like to explore as best we can this second question of, is the military devoting its ableist to recruiting? It doesn't have to be to the exclusion of everyone else, but you're presiding over a force. It should be a force of people. I want to make sure that we do as private industry does, and they focus on recruiting with their best people, putting their best foot forward as role models for those people who are out there trying to enlist people. We have an all-volunteer, so all-volunteer military. So I want to drill down on that, not necessarily here, because it's probably a question that you want to answer, or maybe we can explore it off the record, rather than in the formality of an on-the-record proceeding where everything is taken down. Let me come back to this question of medical waivers, and I want to second what Senator, what you have heard from Senator Warren so powerfully. You know, the simple fact is that young people today just aren't as healthy as they were a decade ago, 2 decades ago. We see that in your numbers. I believe that's correct. You can say I'm wrong in a couple of minutes when I give you the chance to say something. When I enlisted, when I went to Parris Island, even then, I don't know what the proportion was, I lost count, but a major number of recruits couldn't make it through 11 weeks at Parris Island. I don't know how many weeks it is now. And that's not a bad thing. You know, the fact that there are demands. My son, who was a Navy SEAL, he went through BUDS. He was, I think, part of 10% that actually made it. Not a bad thing that people want to be a Navy SEAL, and maybe they can't make it. So I'm wondering whether we should and can modify the medical requirements in a way that gives you the chance to shape young people who are probably overweight, a lot of them, maybe not as sharp as they should be. And again, since I'm out of time, unfortunately, I'll have to beg the indulgence of the chairwoman for you to answer, but is that something that you think should be pursued? Admiral Walker.
Thank you. So CNO recently signed out a personal forward message on the war for talent and capitalizing on every sailor recruiter, because we do believe that every sailor, and that includes our civilians as well, is a recruiter. And in that initiative, we've tasked all 5,000 commands in the Navy to identify and nurture a applicant through the process to bring them into the Navy. So we are capitalizing on the full strength and full force of the Navy to help us bring in talented individuals into service. With regard to expanding the pool or improving performance, our future sailor prep courses, we have a physical fitness one and an academic one. We stood up physical fitness in April of 2023. Our academic is in pilot right now. And full disclosure, we looked at the Army as a learning organization and said, they're doing something really good there and we should do that too. On the physical fitness side, since that program has been in run, we've taken individuals who are outside of Navy physical fitness standards and through a 3-week course, rollable up to 90 days, have brought 95% of them within standards so that they could class up and participate in our basic military training. Our academic side is still in pilot right now, but we're seeing early successes where we are teaching individuals more problem-solving skills and giving them the tools to improve performance so that they can move from one category of the ASVAB to a higher category, expanding the range of jobs available to them. But both of these initiatives are helping us to expand the pool and be more accessible to young women and men who want to serve.
Thank you. In deference to my colleagues, I'm going to ask that you respond in writing because 2 of my colleagues are here. But I really appreciate your very thoughtful and insightful testimony today. It's very, very important. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you, Senator.